पावन हरिनाम संकीर्तन की जय. All glories to the assembled devotees, Hare Krishna. All glories to the assembled devotees, Hare Krishna. All glories to the assembled devotees, Hare Krishna. All glories, all glories, all glories unto Sri Sri Guru and Sri Gauranga. All glories to Srila Prabhupada. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. हरे कृष्णा. अभी श्रीमद् भागवतम का कक्षा रहेंगे. आज का प्रवचन हिज ग्रेस श्रीवास रासबिहारी प्रभु जी लेंगे. सो सभी लोग मंदिर का हॉल में उपस्थित रहने का विनती है. हरे कृष्णा.
हरे कृष्ण. जयो राधा माधवा कुंज विहारी. जयो राधा माधवा कुंज बिहारी. जय गोपी जना वल्लभा गिरिवर धारी. जय गोपी जना वल्लभा गिरिवर धारी. यशोदानंदन ब्रज जनरंजन. यशोदानंदन ब्रज जनरंजन. रमना तीरा Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Ram 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 Hare Hare. Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare. Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare. Jaya Prabhupada, Jaya Prabhupada, Prabhupada, Jaya Prabhupada. Jayam Vishnupad Paramhamsa Parivrajagacharya Ashtotara Shata Shri Srimad His Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada ki. Jayam Vishnupad Paramhamsa Parivrajagacharya Ashtotara Shata Shri Srimad His Divine Grace Bhakti Siddhant Saraswati Goswami Maharaj Srila Prabhupada ki. Granthra Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam ki. All glories to assembled devotees, all glories to assembled devotees, all glories to assembled devotees, all glories, all glories, all glories to Sri Guru and Gauranga. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Narayanam namaskritya naram chaiva narottamam devim saraswatim vyasam tato jaya mudiraye. Nashta prayeshu abhadreshu Nityam Bhagavata Sevaya. Bhagavati Uttama Shloke Bhaktir Bhavati Naistiki. Krishnaya Vasudevaya Devaki Nandanaya cha Nanda Gopaha Kumaraya Govindaya Namo Namaha. Hare Krishna. This morning we are discussing from Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam, Canto 1st, entitled Creation, Chapter 7, entitled The Son of Drona Punished. Text 21 does not have purport, so we'll just read the text 21 and translation, and today's verse of recitation will be text 22. So this is text 21. Tatha pradrushakam tejaha prachandam sarvatam sarvatodisham pranapadam abhiprekshya vishnur uvachaha. Thereupon a glaring light spread in all directions. It was so fierce that Arjuna thought his own life in danger, and so he began to address Lord Sri Krishna. Text 22. Arjuna uvacha Krishna Krishna Mahabaho Abhyankara Bhaktanam Abhyankara Tvam Eka Dahyamanam Apavarga Asi Samshrite. Arjuna uvacha Krishna Krishna Mahabaho Bhaktanam Abhyankara Tvam eko dahyamananam Apavargosi samshrute. Arjuna uvacha Krishna Krishna Mahabaho Bhaktanam Abhyankara Tvam eko dahyamananam Apavargosi samshrute. Arjuna uvacha Krishna Krishna Mahabaho Bhaktanam Abhyankara Tvam eko dahyamananam Apavargosi samshrute. Please recite. Arjuna uvacha Bhaktanam Abhyankaram Tvam eko dahyamananam Apavargosi samshrute. Arjuna uvacha Krishna Krishna Mahabaho Bhaktanam Abhyankara Tvam eko dahyamananam Apavargosi samshrute. Arjuna uvacha Krishna Krishna Mahabhavo Bhaktanam Abhyankara Tvam eko dahyamananam Apavargosi samshrute. Anybody from Arjuna uvacha Krishna Krishna Mahabaho Bhaktanam Abhyankara Tameko Vayamanana Apavargo hi samshrute. Anybody from Vaishnavis? Arjuna uvacha Krishna Krishna Mahabaho Bhaktanam Abhyankara Apavarga hi samshrute. Arjuna uvacha Krishna Krishna Mahabhavo Bhaktanam abhayankara Tvameko dahyamananam Apavargaosi samshrite. So we'll see what word meaning. Arjuna uvacha. Arjuna said, Krishna, O Lord Krishna. Krishna, O Lord Krishna. Mahabaho, he who is the Almighty. Bhaktanam, of the devotees. Abhayankara, eradicating the fears of. Tvam, you. Ekaha, alone. Dahyamananam, those who are suffering from. Apavarga, the path of liberation. Asi, are. Samshrite, in the midst of material miseries. Translation purport by His Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada, Srila Prabhupada ki. Translation. Arjuna said, O my Lord Sri Krishna, you are the Almighty Personality of Godhead. There is no limit to your different energies. Therefore, only you are competent to instill fearlessness in the hearts of your devotees. Everyone in the flames of material miseries can find the path of liberation in you only. Please recite the translation. Arjuna said, O my Lord Sri Krishna, you are the Almighty Personality of Godhead. There is no limit to your different energies. Therefore, only you are competent to instill fearlessness in the heart of your devotees. Everyone in the flames of material miseries can find the path of liberation in you only. Purport. Arjuna was aware of the transcendental qualities of Lord Sri Krishna, as he had already experienced them during the Kurukshetra war, in which both of them were present. Therefore, Arjuna's version of Lord Krishna is authoritative. Krishna is Almighty and is especially the cause of fearlessness for the devotees. A devotee of the Lord is always fearless because of the protection given by the Lord. Material existence is something like a blazing fire in the forest, which can be extinguished by the mercy of the Lord Sri Krishna. The spiritual master is a representative, mercy representative of the Lord. Therefore, a person burning in the flames of material existence may receive the rains of mercy of the Lord through the transparent medium of the self-realized spiritual master. The spiritual master, by his words, can penetrate into the hearts of suffering person and inject knowledge transcendental, which alone can extinguish the fire of material existence. Om Ajnanatimirandhasya Jnananjana Shalakaya Chakshur Unmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha Shri Chaitanya Manobhishtam Sthapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadamahyam Dadati Swapadantikam Vandeham Shri Guru Shri Yuta Padakamalam Shri Gurun Vaishnavamscha Shri Rupam Sagrajatam Sahagana Raghunathanvitam Tam Sajivam Sadvaitam Savadutam Parijana Sahitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padan Sahagana Lalita Shri Vishakhanvitamscha Nama Om Vishnu Padaya Krishna Preshtaya Bhutale Shrimate Bhakti Vedanta Swami Niti Namine Namaste Saraswate Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Paschatya Deshatarine Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Srivasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Shri Shri Radha Madhav Bhagwan ki, Shri Shri Gaur Nitai ki, Shri Shri Jagannath Baldev Subhadra Mai ki, Srila Prabhupada ki. Hare Krishna. First of all, I seek blessings of all the assembled devotees, so that I can speak something worthwhile on this discussion of Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam. So in this context of Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam, the context is of Ashwatthama trying to protect his life. Not just protect his life, rather he wanted to attack the life of Arjuna. So Ashwatthama in Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam or in the Mahabharata displays a character of unworthy mercy. So first of all, Ashwatthama was born to Dronacharya. So Dronacharya was a very, very qualified Brahmana, although not counted amongst the pure devotees of the Lord. But at the same time, he was very dharmagya. He was very true to his dharma. Now, if at all somebody wants to count the mistake of Dronacharya, is to give teachings to Ashwatthama. Although he was his own son, Ashwatthama definitely learnt from Dronacharya. But definitely Ashwatthama did not made a wise utilization of that. See, generally fighting on the side of adharma, you are generally counted as adharmi. That is a natural way of calculation. Yet being on the side of adharma, Bhishma and Dronacharya, Bhishma definitely is still accepted as a very Mahajana. Like in the counts of Mahajanas, Bhishma is counted. When Yamaraj is speaking that who are the people from whom we can learn dharma, is one of them is Bhishma, right? So definitely Bhishma cannot be on the side of adharma. So for Bhishma to be on the side of Kauravas is just an apparent cause, so that the Kauravas will take up the battle and ultimately lose. In the beginning of the Bhagavad Gita also we see that Prabhupada writes in the purport that the strength of Duryodhana for him to come on the battlefield was Bhishma. Now Dronacharya's character is sometimes is tainted with some of his material qualities. Sometimes we see that Dronacharya is attached to his son. Dronacharya is sometimes not counted amongst pure devotees. But yet he is not given a title of being adharmi outright. You understand? He is just counted amongst the good brahmanas or a dutiful teacher. But here his own son Ashwatthama is given such a black spot on his character that even Bhagavatam does not take his name as Ashwatthama. He is only counted as son of Brahmana. Brahmana Bandhu or Dvija Bandhu. That's it. So why is it so? Because Ashwatthama, probably because of his bad association with Kauravas, he was so sinful that he ended up killing 5 sons of Draupadi. So see, such a bad example of somebody misusing his power. So that is the reason why in the scriptures sometimes it is prohibited to teach the knowledge of how to use the powers to unqualified people. Because one powerful person misuses his power, becomes a great danger to the society. Especially if his intelligence goes wrong. Durbuddhi becomes very, very difficult. See, these sons of Draupadi, sons of Pandavas, had no fault on their life. They never battled around against Kauravas. They were not Maharathis. They were not even into the battle. But Duryodhana, actually saying Duryodhana was already dead. He was lying in one corner of the battlefield. But still Ashwathama, out of his desire to please Duryodhana, he ends up killing 5 sons of Draupadi. See what time Ashwathama is attacking and to whom he is attacking. Now sometimes people argue that Ashwathama attacked these people thinking that they are Pandavas. Sometimes some unauthorized people tell that. But even for the argument's sake, if we accept that Ashwathama tried to attack Pandavas, what is the time he is going and attacking these people? This is dead night, when battles are not fought. Even the codes and conducts of battle say that at the end of the day, when there is a Suryasta is done, you cannot fight. And it is believed that even during the battle of Kurukshetra, the Pandavas and Kauravas used to meet as if they are brothers after the sunset happens. And sometimes they used to eat together as if nothing has happened. So this Ashwathama is so sinful person that he tries to kill the Pandavas, or rather Pandavas' sons, in the dead of the night. And thinking that he has killed the Pandavas, he feels that he has done a great thing. Now, Ashwathama seems to misuse his power very, very easily. Wherever he wants to save his life, whenever he wants to kill anyone, he just uses his Brahmastra. So just imagine, even in those times, just by chanting few mantras, this kind of a special, very, very powerful weapons can be invoked. So here, when Arjuna meets Draupadi, and Arjuna realizes that my 5 sons, rather the 5 sons of Pandavas were killed, Arjuna promises Draupadi that unless I bring the head, the severed head of Ashwathama, and pacify the rage in our heart, I will not keep quiet. So he goes along with Arjuna. Arjuna goes along with Krishna to fight against Ashwathama. See, Ashwathama does not have Kshatriya qualities either. So when he sees that Arjuna is coming to fight against me, he is not very confident of fighting against Arjuna. Rather, he tries to run back to save his life. So Kshatriyas are not of that quality. So neither Ashwathama had a quality of being a Brahmana, neither he had a quality of being Kshatriya. So imagine somebody gets a power, but he does not have a good sense of how to utilize his power, neither as a Brahmana, neither as a Kshatriya. Like sometimes Kshatriyas get influenced by their passion, and they may use weapons to the people whom they were not even intending to kill. But generally Brahmanas don't do so. Brahmanas are very, very grounded. They are in the mode of goodness, and they use weapons only when it is needed. So Ashwathama had those weapons in his control. But we will see in the future verses or in the previous verses that even about using the weapons, he was not fully trained properly. He only knew how to use the weapon, but not to withdraw the weapon. So every qualified Kshatriya, when he learns from a guru properly, he knows how to use the weapon and how to withdraw that weapon at the right time also. But Ashwathama had only one-sided knowledge, that how to use the weapon. So now he is using a Brahmastra to protect his life. And Brahmastra being very, very powerful, now Arjuna gets scared, seeing the glare of this weapon. He was like, I have never seen such a weapon, even in the battle of Kurukshetra. And definitely there were very, very powerful weapons being used in the battle of Kurukshetra. We will see that when Karna was greatly attacked by the son of Bhima, Bhima had a very special son. His name was Ghatotkata. So when Ghatotkata started attacking various people in the battle of Kurukshetra, when he came to attack Karna, so Karna had a very strong weapon, as good as Brahmastra, if I am not wrong. So Karna kept that weapon, that I will use this weapon only for Arjuna. So he was fighting here and there, and he was thinking that when the day will come when I will fight with Arjuna, I will use this weapon. But when Ghatotkata attacked in a very, very fierce way, and when Ghatotkata was almost falling on his chariot, as if to destroy, Karna had no other alternative. It is said that when death is on your head, you lose your intelligence. When death is on your head, you lose your intelligence. So Karna thought that in the wage of how to protect my own life, he took this Brahmastra and he shot towards Ghatotkata, and of course Ghatotkata died. So seeing Ghatotkata dead, Arjuna had a very strange, very special kind of appearance. And Arjuna and others were kind of not so happy with this outcome, that Ghatotkata died. Then Krishna was asked by Arjuna that why is it so that you are kind of bit happy with this entire thing. He said that Karna had this weapon, he wanted to attack this weapon to you. But now that he has used this weapon, he has no other weapons to be used on you. So now you can easily fight against Karna. So these weapons were sometimes very, very strange. Like, you are given that mantra. In the previous purports also you will see that just by chanting the mantras, various weapons can be invoked and controlled. So sometimes a person is granted a benediction that you can use these mantras only once. See, these Brahmastras were not some physical objects that you go and drop on somebody and then it will blast. So the mantras can be invoked in a simple arrow, and that arrow can become Brahmastra. And the people are granted with this benediction that you can use this Brahmastra only once, or you can use the Brahmastra only in such a condition, like that. So definitely Karna had this Brahmastra kind of a weapon, and even Ashwathama had, but Ashwathama used it multiple times. So Ashwathama's life was at stake, and now he started using Brahmastra. And now Arjuna is trying to protect his life. So we see the difference in the lives of devotees and non-devotees. When non-devotees' lives is in danger, they try to protect their life by their own dubious ways, like now how Ashwathama is trying to do. Whereas when devotees' life is in danger, they have only one shelter, Krishna, Krishna, Mahabaho. So they just take shelter of Krishna. Like Krishna told to Arjuna in the beginning of Bhagavad Gita, Sarva dharman parityaja mam ekam sharanam vraja aham tvam sarva papebhyo mokshayishyami ma suchaha. Do not fear. So Arjuna is banking on the promise given by Krishna, that do not fear, I will protect you from all kinds of danger, even in this battle or henceforward. Apparently the battle of Kurukshetra is over now. The main battle of Kurukshetra is over now, but still the coronation of Yudhishthira has not happened. So it is that interim phase of time when the battle is over, but still the coronation has not happened. So Arjuna has full confidence that Krishna will protect me. Krishna has protected me throughout the battle of Kurukshetra. I mean, I heard from senior devotees, I personally not read directly from the scriptures about this particular instance. It is said that when the battle of Kurukshetra gets over and Arjuna asks Krishna that please come out of the chariot. Now the battle of Kurukshetra is over. Then Krishna tells, I will not get down first, you please get down first. So Arjuna was confused, why is it so? And Arjuna gets down the chariot, and then when Krishna comes out of the chariot, then the chariot of Arjuna is completely burnt to ashes in a minute. So the explanation is given that when Krishna was standing on the chariot of Arjuna, no weapon could destroy the chariot. There were many yodhas who have shot weapons to destroy the chariot of Arjuna. But all those things were inactive, couldn't be fructified because Krishna was present. And the moment Krishna dethroned from the chariot, then the chariot got burnt. So Arjuna was witness to this, that Krishna protected me from all kinds of dangers. And Arjuna was attacked from not only from the front side, from the various angles. These Kauravas have not followed the codes and conducts of a Kshatriya in many places in the battle of Kurukshetra. And that is the reason why Krishna tells to Arjuna specifically that kill this Karna when he is without any weapon. So many times people get it out that why is it that Krishna told Arjuna to kill Karna in an unrighteous manner. He could have fought nicely, he could have got the kirti of being a very righteous person by killing their own enemies also in a righteous way. But Krishna wanted to show that if you take a side of adharma, even in the battle of Kurukshetra, even when you are told to be act as in the code of conducts of Kshatriya, but still you did not act it. So for a adharmi person to kill an adharmi way is not adharma. So however, Arjuna always had the shelter of Krishna. So now seeing that in the sky, in such a glare of Brahmastra, Arjuna was also confused that how do I protect myself. But for devotees it is very simple. Just call out Krishna. So time and again it is very simple. You call out Krishna, Krishna will protect Pandavas in any way it is possible. Right? Draupadi was protected by Krishna. Right? Pandavas were protected by Krishna time and again. Like that. So Arjuna takes shelter of this verse, Sarva dharman parityaja mam ekam sharanam vraja aham tvam sarva papebhyo mokshayishyami ma suja. And he says, Krishna Krishna mahabhavo bhaktanam abhayankara tvam eko dahyamananam apavargosi samshrute. So I don't find any other shelter, Arjuna is telling to Krishna, other than you. You alone can protect me. In fact, you alone can protect all your devotees. So please protect me from this glaring effulgence of Brahmastra. So going ahead, we will see that Krishna tells to Arjuna that this is nothing but a Brahmastra. Although Ashwathama has used this Brahmastra not knowing how to counteract. So generally when there is a battle, you are supposed to use weapons in a particular way. In the first go only you are not supposed to use Brahmastra. Like you are fighting an enemy, you progressively use weapons, knowing that what is the quality of, what is the strength of the enemy. So without judging the strength of the enemy, directly using Brahmastra is not sometimes justified. Like you will see in the battle, a person uses a weapon, a simpler weapon. If the opponent had a counteract for that weapon, then you use a weapon of a higher power. So the war goes like this. You are directly using Brahmastra, not justified. So then Krishna tells Arjuna that please, you also use this Brahmastra to counteract this Brahmastra. Of course, definitely Krishna teaches and guides Arjuna how to use Brahmastra to protect his life. But going ahead, we will see that Ashwathama is such a, heinous person, that even the taking name, remembering him is a very sinful thing. Why? Because Ashwathama loses to Arjuna in this battle. Ashwathama having attacked by Brahmastra, he has no other place to rescue his own life. And there you will see that Draupadi, having realized that what my husband Arjuna is going to do. So Draupadi was in a great, pain of losing her 5 sons. So when Arjuna tells that I will kill Ashwathama, Draupadi relates that Ashwathama's mother, that is Dronacharya's wife, will also undergo the same suffering what I am going through of losing a son. So Draupadi did not wanted her Guru Mata to undergo the same suffering. So she goes and pleads Arjuna that please do not kill Ashwathama. So although the the sentiment of Draupadi or the feelings of Draupadi should be respected, however that decision was not very wise enough, because when a person is punished rightly, only then the reformation of the person happens. If whatever right punishment is not administered to the person, then the person will take chance of that and again misuse, that again I can be excused. So this is the duty of a Kshatriya, to make sure that any person who does any mistake is rightly punished according to his situation. So definitely Ashwathama, though being Brahmana, deserves to be given a chance of a life. But seeing his past misdeeds, it was not good enough to give chance to such a person. Like if a Brahmana does a very small mistake, he is deserved. If a Brahmana does a mistake unintentionally, he can be forgiven. A Kshatriya does mistake unintentionally, he can be forgiven. But the act of Ashwathama going and killing 5 sons was not something unintentional. Like when Pariksit Maharaj, he is a Kshatriya, when he went to the ashram of a Brahmana and he was expecting that I can get some drink, I can get some water, but he was not honored as per a king, he became enraged, and definitely he did not want to take life of somebody. Taking life of somebody is a very heinous act, and that act should be done only when there is a when it is done in accordance with the superiors, in accordance to the codes of conduct of Kshatriyas. But however, Parikshit did a very small mistake, and he was rightly punished. We cannot say rightly punished, rather overly punished. But not going to that discussion, this Ashwathama's act of killing 5 sons in the night was an intentional act, willfully done, and it deserves a punishment of Ashwathama also being killed. But however, Arjuna was torn between the two. One, according to codes and conducts of religion, is supposed to be killed, but Draupadi, her own wife, his own wife, is telling him not to kill. So there are various views of acharyas about how this act should be seen, whether Draupadi was right or whether Krishna was right in instructing Ashwathama to be killed. So now Arjuna, thinking that Ashwathama will learn from his mistakes of not using Brahmastras anywhere and everywhere, he just disrespects Ashwathama by various means of cutting the hair on his body. However, we will see that in the sequence of Bhagavatam, even after knowing that Ashwathama was being treated by Arjuna in such a way, Ashwathama again uses a Brahmastra to kill Parikshit Maharaj in the womb. So this goes to show that the decision was not very wise on Arjuna to leave Ashwathama in such a situation. It is said sometimes that just like a snake, as soon as you say the sneeze a snake, and we see that the snake is harmful to our life, we should immediately kill the snake, thinking that the snake might reform Like, if you think that, if I leave the snake alive, thinking that snake will reform is the stupidity of the person who leaves the snake alive. Because snake will never reform. In Telugu, sometimes we say that the tail of dog is always curled, cannot be straightened. So Ashwatthama was one such personality given in Bhagavatam, that how, even though you might be born to a very great personality, Dronacharya definitely is a very great personality. Being even a guru for Pandavas itself is a great status of life. So even though you are born to a great personality, you can become a very, very sinful person just by association. So much so that you don't understand only what you are doing. Ashwatthama is just such a character that use Brahmastra to protect his life, use Brahmastra to kill a person in the womb. You will see that the followers of Hiranyakashipu, when they got to know, the followers of the demigods, when they got to know that the Hiranyakashipu's son is in the womb of Kayadu, they thought that let the child come out and then we will kill. There was no chance of somebody being killed in the womb, right? But the Ashwatthama is so sinful person that he thought that I will kill the grandson of Pandavas in the womb, so that the entire race of Pandavas will be eradicated. So such a heinous, sinful person does not deserve to be alive. So however, the scriptures give us this example. Now sometimes people say that why is it that Arjuna did not follow the instructions of Krishna? Arjuna told Krishna that whatever you tell me, karishye vachanam tava, whatever you promise me to do, I will just do it. So Krishna is telling Arjuna, kill Ashwatthama, finish this heinous rascal. Then why did Arjuna did not do so? So now there can be again various questions and various ways of seeing that. But in my understanding, it goes to show that what happens if you do not hear to the instructions of Guru. Krishna is giving us this view from this example of Arjuna and Ashwatthama, that you did not kill him, now he is again trying to kill your grandson. So Krishna and devotees' life are not just to be seen from the codes of conduct of Shastras, but more than that, it is to teach people how to live in a very, very practical sense. Sometimes people say that pure devotional service is sometimes not very practical. Like always thinking of Krishna. Like sometimes when we hear the lives of Goswamis, eating once in 3 days, living under the trees, sometimes we may feel that it is not so very practical as per the lifestyle of the devotees. But then Mahabharata shows us very, very practical ways of ruling the kingdom, dealing with the relatives, dealing with situations in life. Mahabharata teaches us in a very, very practical way. So Krishna also takes endeavor to the society that how to live in a very, very practical way of life. If you are Kshatriya, you have to act as Kshatriya. If you are a Brahmana, you have to act as Brahmana. And as a Kshatriya, somebody deserves punishment. And if the Kshatriya, out of his material affection, so if we see in one sense, Arjuna was inflicted by material affection. My wife is telling that him not to be killed. So let me hear to my wife. And you see that again your grandson's life is danger. And again Krishna had to endeavor to protect your grandchild. So imagine the whole situation, how Krishna is teaching practical life lessons in the society. So if a Kshatriya does not punish a person who deserves punishment to that extent, then again that person, reformation will not happen. So this is the lives of lessons of lives from Mahabharata, what we can learn from our Acharya's teachings. Now of course in this particular purport, Prabhupada also emphasizes in one other aspect of Krishna consciousness, is that the blazing fire of material existence can only be eradicated by taking shelter of the spiritual master. So it is always good to have the instructions of spiritual master in our consciousness. So when we have the instructions of the spiritual master in our consciousness, we are not, we don't generally get, miserable by this existence. Everyone is going through the material world. Everyone is suffering birth, old age, disease, death, adhyatmik, adi daivik, adi bhautik kleshas. But on the person who has the shower of spiritual master instructions, he is only the person who is, although in the material world, not getting the pangs, not getting burnt by the material world. So what is this burning is, each flame of burning in this material world is symbolized by every material desire you have. So the more the material desire we have, the more burning and suffering you have. Contradictory to the material education, the people feel that the more material desires I have, the more glorious I am. So that is the plight of this material existence. So we pray to the spiritual master every day in the morning. Samsara dava nalalila loka Sranaya karunya ghana ghanatvan. So this is what Prabhupada explains, that just how Arjuna took shelter of Krishna to become Abhayankara, Bhaktanam Abhayankara. So just imagine, in the entire life of Krishna and in the entire life of Ramachandra, whomsoever they have promised that I will protect your life, nobody can take away that particular person's life. Just imagine the entire Ramayana and in the entire Mahabharata, whosoever Lord Ram promised that I will protect your life, nobody can take away the life. So that's why Arjuna is telling Bhaktanam Abhayankaram, you are the only person who can give this shelter. You will see all other demigods or other kingly persons, they might have promised that I will protect your life. But when the danger comes, sometimes they are a failure. Whereas Krishna Lord Krishna never fails in protecting his devotees. Kaunteya pratijanahi name bhakta pranashyati. So if a devotee of Lord follows the instructions of Lord perfectly, then he is never diminished. This is what Prabhupada explains in this purport. But the whole pastime of the son of Drona being punished, and again the son of Drona being mischievous, is being displayed in this chapter and in the next chapter. So this is what I thought today we will discuss in this Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam class. Anybody has any questions or any comments on this discussion of Bhagavatam? Can we please do so? Hare Krishna.
Yeah, Hare Krishna, Prabhuji. Prabhuji, question is, such a bad fate this Upapandava had, right? The whole Kaurava party is destroyed and the Pandavas were saved. But just to destroy Ashwasthama, all the Upapandavas died. So I'm not able to understand why such a fate, we had in Mahabharata. That is the first question. Second one is, various instances, we see when we call Krishna, then he will only protect. Now this Upapandava, although they were son of Pandava, they were, child, they were so small, they cannot call Krishna. So they were also, almost they were surrendered to Krishna, being a Upapandava. So why Krishna could not provide shelter to them? These two questions I have.
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna. Is it okay? Yeah, so why Krishna could not protect the Upapandavas? So just like we'll see in the case of Abhimanyu also, Abhimanyu was a grown-up son of Arjuna, and he was also in the battle fighting along with his parents for the Kurukshetra. So if Krishna wanted, he could have saved the life of Abhimanyu. So however, so sometimes such instances happen. It can be due to few reasons. One is that if a very great personality does some sinful activity, so just to eradicate that karma of that particular person, they are born for some time and they are died. Just like we see that Vasudeva and Devaki had 6 sons. And what is their mistake of being born as Vasudeva and Devaki's sons? They were just killed by Kamsa, a sinful person's hand. So sometimes it is described that they were 6 Vasus or somebody who had committed a sinful act, and just to eradicate that simple aspect of that karma, they are just given birth for a small time and they are killed again, like that. And we will see that the sons of Shantanu, Shantanu had 8 sons, and this wife Ganga, wife of Shantanu, as soon as they were born, this wife of Shantanu killed all her sons, and the 8th son, that is Bhishma, was alive. So there also it is explained that they were all Vasus who got some curse. So I mean, I directly not read directly from any scripture that these Upa Pandavas had some sinful activity, but probably that can be the reason that they are just born for a while and then they are killed. So to just eradicate that small karma, sometimes a person is given small birth, like that. Whereas Pandavas' case is different. Pandavas were Parshadas of Krishna who always remain with Krishna, not just in this planet. Wherever Krishna does pastime, to assist pastimes, Pandavas are there. So probably that is the reason that comes to my mind why these Upa-Pandavas were not protected. We'll see sometimes, like, the Sandipani Muni's children were also died, and then Krishna brings back their son. So like that. So like that there might be some instance of their previous record of why they were born like that. The only thing that comes to my mind. Anything else? Yes? Vishwadevas, okay.
Cursed by Vishwamitra.
Okay.
They were cursed by Vishwamitra because they criticized Vishwamitra testing Harishchandra and his wife.
Okay.
So then later they ask for forgiveness, the relevance for the curse. And he says you will take birth in the earthly planet.
But you will immediately die.
Yeah, and then you will.
So probably that is true. If we read more Puranas, sometimes some Purana does not give each and every final detail. So Bhagavatam may not give that final detail. But from other Puranas, we can get to know what is the background of that. Okay? Fine. Any other question or comment? Yes, Prabhu?
Hare Krishna Prabhuji. This in the Kurukshetra Yuddha, even Dronacharya also killed, by making some trick, Yudhishthira has to lie and has to kill Brahmana. Of course, they have to eliminate to get the, war win by Arjuna's Pandavas. But here, Ashwadhama did very bad thing and, want to save a Brahmana Putra, So there, they killed Brahmana, but here, trying to save Brahmana Putra, giving some reason. So what is the reason actually?
I didn't get the question. Who is the Brahmana Putra here? Ashwadhama.
Like Ashwadhama, yeah.
Okay.
So they protected, by saying Brahmana Putra, but his own father, like Dronacharya, was killed, by saying, Yudhishthira has to lie, and so Ashwadhama Ataha Kunjaraha, like he said, and has to kill the Brahmana.
So
they killed the Brahmana, but here trying to save the Brahmana.
You mean to say Dronacharya himself was killed, And so now what is the point in protecting Ashwathama, giving the life to Ashwathama? So see, Dronacharya, although maybe is a Brahmana, but when he comes to battle of Kurukshetra, he is treated like Kshatriya only. Like you may be a Brahmana, but you come on to the battle of Kurukshetra, like anyone who goes to battle, the rule is that even if you die, it is not wrong. Correct? So Dronacharya was treated like a Kshatriya. So now in the battle, the opponent, if he is a Kshatriya, you can kill him, no problem. Now why Ashwathama Hatha has to be told and why he has to be killed is a different subject matter. It is discussed. Now why Ashwathama was protected? Arjuna did not save the life of Ashwathama just because he is Brahmana Putra. There were other reasons also. He was a son of his own guru. And mainly it shows that he got instincts from Draupadi. Some material emotions were induced in Arjuna that do not kill my guru's wife's son. I don't want, the way I am lamenting, I don't want my guru Patni to also lament. So that is what was induced, more than being just a Brahmana. This is what is my understanding. Okay, Hare Krishna. Yes, any more questions? Yes, Bhamai bro.
In a situation that he is gone out of the syllabus. He is in a situation that he need to act from the out of the syllabus.
In the
Just
sense?
like he learned from Bhagavad Gita from Lord Krishna, that he said Karishyam Vachanantava, but here he is supposed to act what Krishna said, but
he did not
he
do
neither
so.
He obeyed both and he disobeyed both also. Similarly, we see Krishna also not fulfilled his promise that he said that I don't lift any weapon, but still he lifts the weapon. Does it mean that this is all from the whatever we learned, the theoretical knowledge or Shastra knowledge, but practically something different?
See, practically something different is not really very different. Arjuna obeyed Krishna's order throughout Kurukshetra. Now what has happened is, see, of course, from one point of view, Ashwathama had a benediction that he is Chiranjeevi, in the sense that he cannot be killed in this day of Brahma's Kalpa. So that would have been again, counteracting the benediction he has. To counteract a benediction a person has, it means that you are counteracting the person who gave benediction to that person also. So I don't know, Brahma had given this benediction to Ashwathama, or I don't know, somebody had given, or maybe Lord Shiva, somebody gave this benediction to Ashwathama that he will not die in today's day of Brahma. So that is one view of the fact. The other view of the fact is that Krishna is teaching through the example of Arjuna that if you get carried away by material emotions, then there will be disharmony in the society. So to teach that lesson also, Krishna chooses his own devotees. Like in the case of Bhishma, Bhishma was a pure devotee of the Lord. Right? But Krishna chose Bhishma, you be on the side of Kauravas, just to show that no matter how powerful you are, if you take a side of adharma, you will be destroyed. So Krishna uses sometimes devotees as an example, and it is all comprehensive lessons which we can learn from all the sides, right, of these lessons of Mahabharata. So he is teaching in one way, he is teaching through the example of Arjuna that do not get carried away by the emotions of material relationships. Right? If Dronacharya is your guru, Dronacharya was guru only till the extent of martial arts or archery arts. He was not a spiritual master. Real spiritual master was Krishna. So if Krishna tells you something, you just follow. And it is not that Krishna is telling out of his enmity, or it is not that Krishna was not in a proper state of mind through which he gave instruction. He gave instruction in a proper state of mind. But still, he is teaching through the lections, don't get carried away by material emotions. If you get carried away, again you will be in danger. Okay? The lesson. Okay, so we will conclude here. Thank you all very much for giving your time and attention. Granthra Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam ki, Srila Prabhupada ki.